welcome everyone to the ScreamCast. I'm your host, Sean DeRager, and with me, as always, Brad F. Henderson.
Whatever.
And Brian Sauer.
Hello.
What's up? Brian's back. Brian's an on-again, off-again type of guy.
That's how I do it.
But that's okay. It's all right.
Basically, he's very unreliable, people.
That's it, exactly. It's not scheduling, it's just unreliability.
It's not that we're busy and we have lives outside this podcast. No.
Not at all.
Or we're just big jerks.
We are.
Who knows?
That could be.
Well, of course, this is the podcast where we talk about mainly Scream Factor releases that we may throw an audible here and there. I'm thinking with some things that are coming down the line, but we'll see where that goes. You may have noticed a little bit of a different intro. I'm happy to report that this awesome band called the Wolfmen of Mars helped us out and gave us some music to use for the show. So huge thanks to them, and I hope you guys enjoy the change. They went to the studio and they recorded a full-on song and for us to use for the podcast. And the cool thing is that song is going to be on their next album that they're working on right now, which will be out in January. So it's very cool of them to do, and really excited about it. But the reason why I wanted to debut it today was because we have a special guest from the deep, dark corners of the internet. It's the Wolfman.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm the drummer for CKY.
Awesome. I had no idea.
Yeah, I play drums real good. I come from Pennsylvania, somewhere.
I have a feeling,
cool dude.
I have a feeling you're a drummer that they never mentioned on like Wikipedia or anything. So were you like were you in the band for like a week, or, did shit go down?
Yeah, they were like, hey, let's call ourselves Camp Kill Yourself. I was like, guys, that's not a really positive name. I cannot be involved anymore. And they're like, all right, see you, bro. I was like, all right, bye.
Oh, man.
That's pretty much what happened.
Those sons of bitches.
Same thing happened with Prince. I was a drummer for Prince, and he was like, I'm going to call myself Prince. I was like, I'm not really into that. And he was like, all right, see ya. I'm like, okay, bye.
You're much more of a democracy kind of guy.
Yeah, I was more like, okay, who's going to be the legislative branch? Who's going to be, like, I'm the drummer, so I'm, like, casting judgment, so I should probably be some sort of judiciary. And he was like, no, we're just Prince. I was like, all right, cool, see ya. Yo, my name's Rappin' Wolfman, and I'm here to say I love to podcast on a Saturday.
Nice.
Shit.
I just came up with that.
Podcast is over. Canceled.
It's done. It's peaked. It is peaked.
I need to work on some sick beats to mix in with that, so we need to cancel the podcast right now so I can do that.
You know what? You really shouldn't, because that might take away from the attention of my lyrics.
Right. And the spontaneity of the rhymes.
Yeah, you're just like, by the way, spoiler alert, it's a Saturday morning, so I know we're really pulling back the curtain here, but
shit.
Sometimes you're just hanging out on a Saturday morning and you just got to talk about how much you love doing it.
Well, God, where do I go from here? Brad, you
failed already.
Right? We're done?
We're live. We're on. Well, we're not necessarily live, but so yeah, Wolfman.
I'm doing a great job, right?
You are.
You're really good at podcasts.
Thanks, guys. It's what I majored in college.
All right. Well, we'll see you later.
All right, back to bed. Bye.
Well, Brad discovered you, I believe, under a sludge-covered rock on Twitter. So
yeah, sounds about right.
So, Brad, how did that happen?
I don't know. He just started harassing me, to be honest with you. and we just like. He was an ass and I'm an ass, so it was just easy. We just went ass to ass, really. And
just
we became friends. And,
whoa! Now I don't know if I'd say friends. That's not
actually, I met him at Fantastic Fest, and he's actually a sweetheart.
Yeah, I think Brad was like at Fantastic Fest. He kind of came up to me and he was like, "Hey, what's up, you piece of shit?" And I was like, "Oh God, what's this? What did I do to this guy?" And then he said, "Oh, I I knew that you were a Wolfman. I was like, oh, that totally explains it. And, I've hated him ever since. He just constantly bothers me on the internet. I'm just trying to, give out opinions on things. And he's always just like, hey, man, you're way too aggro. And I'm like, all right, whatever.
Aggro is not even my vocabulary, you asshole.
Oh, bro.
Well, I mean,
aggro, bro. Step down, bro.
Yeah, he needs to really take it. He needs to take a chill pill, if you ask me.
I think so, too. Well, we're going to be talking about Prince of Darkness today, the John Carpenter classic. I don't know if it's classic. Is it a classic?
Classic?
Oh, absolutely.
It is a classic,
okay.
For sure.
Anything Carpenter does is pretty much a classic.
John,
Even Ghost of Mars.
No, we'll
especially the Ward. Yeah, it's real classic.
Classically bad. We'll talk.
Oh, Sean!
I'm sure we'll be talking about some of this later.
Jesus.
I'm sorry.
We're starting off with Carpenter bashing. Oh no!
This is just like the Wes Craven episode. Wes Craven sucks.
I'm just kidding.
Wes Craven's okay.
In all fairness, the Ward is actually not that bad. Ghost of Mars, however, is unforgivable. It is.
No, that's a different movie. That's a Gene Hackman movie.
Yeah, it's a totally different movie. Well, before we move any further, talking about John Carpenter's Prince of Darkness, Brad has some Blu-ray release announcements.
Do you like what you see?
I love what I see.
Would you like to touch what you see?
Yes, I would.
What are they?
Well,
let us know.
Well, there's a couple that Brian might have to help me with. Recently in Germany, Tarantula was released and Attack of the Mole People.
Yes.
When were the dates for those?
Mole People's already out, I think, and Tarantula, I want to say, is
June 12th.
There you go.
There we go.
So
and then, June 15th is Possession. That they have fucking limited edition, single disc, whatever. They got a bunch of shit on Diabolic DVD for Possession, which is pretty cool. That's coming.
Is that the Beast, the like $63 set? That deal?
It's like the Mondo print or something like that.
Oh wow!
So and June 17th, Tuesday, Joyride 3, huh? Any takers on Joyride 3? Is Joyride 2 is good. And then we also have the remake of Patrick, which has Sharni Vinson. Wolfman, did you see that at Fantastic Fest with me?
Yeah.
Did you like it?
Oh, there's a part where everyone yells, "Patrick wants his hand job." That part was pretty badass.
Yeah, it's okay. It's one of those. It was kind of an odd film to remake if you ever seen the original. It's okay. And also on June 17th, I'm pretty happy. Almost Human comes out, which I know
nice.
Wolfman's a fan.
Oh man, I love that show. Yeah, pretty good show with Judge Dredd is on that.
Oh yeah, great. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about at this point.
Okay, the TV show is starring Carl
Urban.
Who played
Carl Urban. I don't watch the show, Wolfman. God damn it.
Okay, back to the actual movie you were talking about.
That TV show was pretty great. I'm sad they canceled it.
Oh my god.
Brad, just talk about what you wanted to talk about. We'll be
okay.
We'll shut up.
God damn it. All right, The Last Shark was also announced. And Brian, what did you find out the release date on that? Like March 2014 or some bullshit?
It said March 2015, but like it was weird because the website said, "Well, I ordered it," and it said, "We'll ship in 5 to 8 days." So I was like, okay. So I emailed them and I said, what's the actual date? And I never heard back yet. So when I do, I'll let you know. But
oh no,
the site says March 2015.
We're never gonna get The Last Shark. It's limited edition to 1,000 people. So if you want a chance of losing your money or get the Blu-ray that's limited, do it.
That could be out in a year.
What's that website again, Brad? I forget. It's
Retrovision.
Retrovision. Sorry, yeah.
What? No, Brad, come on.
Google that shit.
What was that? What was that Almost Famous movie you were talking about coming out?
Oh God.
Is that what you were saying?
Yeah.
I think
Scorpion releasing as announced. Don't answer the phone. Don't go into the house. Girly, and First Power all don't have. They all don't have release dates yet. What does have a release date is Sorceress comes out August 19th, which is pretty cool. By Scorpion.
I just pre-ordered it last night.
Yes.
I'm so excited for that one.
Stage Fright from Blue Underground comes out September 23rd over here. It's also being released in the UK. Let's see what do I have here. Comes out in the UK in I think July 8th. I think I'm getting all my Stage Fright. There's like 4 fucking versions of Stage Fright coming out, and also the one from Magnet that's coming out that was directed by the guy that did Legend of Beaver Dam, which is a pretty fun musical.
How many Stage Fright movies are there?
Like 3.
And they're all coming out?
No, just 2 of them. But there's like multiple releases of Aquarius, which is the Bloody Bird movie with the owl slasher.
Gotcha.
Wow.
So. And also, I'm very, very fucking confused about this because this company is so fucking unreliable and things pop up here or there. June 13th is the date on this one that apparently has a street date, but there's no copies out there. Yes, June 13th of Nightmares by Code Red. And if you go to their fucking website, it says it's sold out already. So... there you go. Of course, fucking Code Red. I'm super unfucking reliable.
I just bought 3 Code Red Blu-rays last night. He opened up the website that has been saying that it was been down for construction.
Yeah.
Then last night,
you can buy again now?
At like 1 a.m. I just was checking it out and it was up. So I grabbed Savage Streets, of course, since we talked to Lynette Quigley. I was like, I've been wanting to get Savage Streets, so.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on with that. I mean, I know he pulls down the website in order to, like, go on vacation and shit. 'Cause, like, he's the only one that runs it. And then, like, he throws it up, like, for a week, and then he takes it down.
Yeah. Well, last night's reasoning was he's broke, and he needs the money, so he's opening up the website for orders.
Wow.
That's what he said on Facebook.
Yeah, good luck making money, dude.
Anyway.
No one knows your shit exists.
Well, I'm excited to get Savage Streets on Blu-ray, but wasn't there another
good
one?
Releases.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, all 5 of those were really good. Like, Neon Maniac, Savage Streets. What were the other ones, Brian?
The Redeemer, Nail Gun Massacre, and Mary Bloody Mary?
Yeah, Mary Bloody Mary.
But didn't we look at the back of Redeemer, and it was like kind of a crappy...
God. Yeah, it basically says this film, the film elements were shit, but we still released it.
Yeah.
But I mean, at least I guess they admit to it. I don't.
Yeah, at least they're giving a disclaimer as opposed to, some other companies that just release it and hope nobody notices or.
Yeah. Have you looked at it yet, Brad? I haven't heard from anybody that's actually looked at it.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Like, I mean, it's the Redeemer. I mean,
I've still never seen that. I really need to.
I just don't expect like how great of a copy it really was or is or whatever. It's just I just wish there was a little more effort in telling people and getting this shit out there and then not saying that something's sold. Because I imagine it's saying sold out because it hasn't went up yet. That's my guess. Because I know there was a lot of confusion back in the day when Diabolic used to do that. It used to say out of stock, and it wasn't. It just hasn't even went up for pre-order yet. And now they have order now, ships later. So I don't know if that's something with Code Red's website or the thing's fucking sold out and we totally missed out on Nightmares Blu-ray because the fucking DVD is up there like for $100 on eBay all the time.
Have you mentioned Butcher Baker Nightmare Maker?
Oh, the one with Bo Sebson?
Yeah.
No, I don't know if that's. I think that's just a DVD release.
Yeah, they just put up the DVD.
Oh.
Recently.
I know that.
I mean, by the time you guys hear this, I don't know if it'll still be up or not. But we'll put links to their website. You know, that's the weird thing. Like they put out some fantastic little movies that are rare to find, but sometimes it's hard to get your own copy.
Anybody. They don't tell anybody. There's no fucking press release. There's nothing. It's just like, hey, guess what? I released this Blu-ray. Why isn't it selling? No shit. I wonder why.
All right.
Anyways, moving on. That's the end of the Blu-ray releases.
Well,
please.
Brad, you forgot one.
What?
Do you mind if I plug my friend's movie that's coming out?
Dude, do it. Absolutely.
Okay. So I know some guys that made this movie called Almost Human.
Oh my god, you motherfucker. Like I knew you were going to do that as soon as you said Friends.
No. So these there's this movie called Almost Human. It's not the TV show. It's not called Almost Famous. It's called Almost Human. It's the tagline is a new terror has come home. It's comes out on Blu-ray and DVDs on the 17th. Check it out, guys.
Will do. I'm going to pre-order it right now.
I'm sorry I missed that announcement. Joe and Graham are going to be very, very pissed at me.
Yeah, as they should. You're being a fucking dickhead talking God knows what about neon maniacs and forgetting you're probably all just fired up from the hand jobs that I was talking about. You're just like, oh man, a bunch of hand jobs would be really cool. What? My friend's movie's coming out? Too bad.
Well, anyways, people, definitely watch. I mean, if you're a fan of fucking monster movies and especially Carpenter shit, you'll fucking love Almost Human. So
the TV show?
Yeah, TV.
It's directed by.
Move on to something else. Musical break or some bullshit.
It's directed by the guy that did what's that movie he did? Cameron something. What's his name? I don't know.
What are you talking about?
Talking about Almost Famous.
Almost Famous?
All right. Okay. Sorry, everybody. Sorry, Brad.
Are you saying you really can't think of Cameron Crowe's name?
I'm messing around. Jeez.
Even movie?
Oh my god. Fast Times at Ridgemont High, Cameron Crowe. See, I know my shit. Leave me alone.
Yeah, he was great in Noah.
Fantastic. All right, well, I think now's the cue for us to jump into the musical break.
Well, I mean, honestly, you said that to me, Sean, and you hurt my feelings because what movie did I'm just going to call you out. What movie did Cameron Crowe direct?
Almost Famous and Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
No, he didn't. Amy Heckerling directed Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Damn it, he wrote it.
He was very young.
Oh, screw you then.
And he went back to high school and bullshit.
Hey, people, Brad knows his movies.
Not his friends' movies. Can't even remember goddamn Almost Human coming out on June 17th.
All right.
Oh my god.
Man, oh man, I got uncomfortable in here.
Jesus. Look at all this hostility.
Okay, big internet hug for Brad, and we'll move forward. That's a hug. This is the sound of a hug.
Oh, that was a little too close.
Was that too close? Sorry, everybody.
It's all good.
Well, Brian really felt it more than me. He lives just a couple hours away from you. Can you feel it, Brian?
I felt that, man.
Can you feel the love?
I felt the love.
All right. Well, today's featured band is a no-brainer. I mean, I mentioned them earlier. They did our brand new spanking theme song, which I'm really excited about. And they just had an album release, and that's kind of what got them in my sights. So I'm trying to pull up their stinking name of their album, but stupid app is cutting it off. All right. So their album just came out. It's on Bandcamp. You can pay what you want for it. The album's called The Light in the Corner of Your Eye. The band is called Wolfmen of Mars. And the song I'm going to play for you right now is called The Cosmic Fear. You're listening to the ScreamCast. that was The Cosmic Fear. It's by Wolfmen of Mars, and the album that's out right now is called The Light in the Corner of Your Eye. It's available on Bandcamp. We'll throw the link into the show notes. And they have a couple more albums, so definitely check out their stuff. I really dig what they're doing, and like I said, I'm really, it's cool that they took the time on a Friday the 13th to record a theme song for the Screamcast. So thanks guys. And we definitely want to get one of those guys on the show at some point. So we'll see what happens.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
I did want to kind of pose this question here before we get talking about Prince of Darkness, because it kind of seems to be a trend with some of these horror directors, even other directors that kind of hit their prime, in their like 20s and 30s and have like, really popular films. Like, John Carpenter has a slew of great films in the 80s, and then he kind of tapers off, late in the 90s and 2000s, and, not as strong. Same thing happened with Wes Craven. I mean, you can almost say the same thing even about like directors like Steven Spielberg, how like their catalog in their younger lives is amazing, and then they kind of, do you think it's just old person syndrome, or what do you guys think about that?
Ooh, ageism.
Ageism.
Talk about.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, is that old people are worthless. So it's like even our favorite directors eventually become worthless old people, and that do nothing but go to conventions. So that's probably what they're focusing on. They're probably focusing on like wacky quips for all the conventions, and they're like, I'm not going to put effort into being a good filmmaker. I need to be able to say something goofy about filming The Ward.
I don't know, Sean. I don't know. I think it's a give and take with certain directors. I wouldn't put Spielberg in, and I might not be the biggest Spielberg fan, but I don't think he puts out anything that I would consider garbage. I think Carpenter went more like his quality went more like to like a TV level, it seemed, for like the 90s, because he like had Body Bags and like Village of the Damned and Mouth of Madness and the sequel to Escape from LA. But I think he hit it again, like his style with Vampires, which was like 97, 98 or something like that. And I like that. And I think Ghost of Mars, like, I know it gets shit on, but I've always been kind of a fan of that one just because how campy it is and how ridiculous. I don't know.
I kind of like it too. And the cast is pretty fun, I gotta say.
It's like it's just like he has like these reunions like with his cast members like every so often, and I really really dig that. I guess that's why I like Ghost of Mars just a little bit more, because there's a lot behind it, like Buckethead and Steve Vai were on the soundtrack with Anthrax. I mean, Pam Grier's in it.
Yeah, man.
And was it Peter Jason, of course, was in it. So it's just like this, like, I don't know. I just really dig it. I know that it's corny and goofy, but I still like it.
Yeah. Sean, to address your question, I think, at least in the case of Carpenter, I mean, we all love him to death, but I mean, the dude's had a rough road, I mean, like, he had early success and then a whole bunch of studio failures, basically. Oh, okay. And I'm sure, I think he just burned out. I mean, I think from what you kind of hear about him now, he seems a little bit detached and sort of like, yeah, I did that and I'm not really necessarily interested in doing it anymore. So, I mean, I can see it. I can see how somebody like him that put so much into his work and made such great movies and didn't get recognized or financially recognized. I mean, I guess sometimes critically he got some praise, but that would be tough. And I think that probably happens to a lot of directors. The studio system just kind of burns you out, which is too bad, because he had quite a run. I mean, between Prince of Darkness and They Live, those are, I feel like, the last two of the like golden period for him. I mean, not to say that In the Mouth of Madness and some of the other stuff isn't great, but I feel like the run that he went on, basically from I guess prior Assault on Precinct 13, maybe even Dark Star, to They Live, is pretty unprecedented as far as like quality of films. So
yeah, I mean, if I think the last, I mean, this is like the most, I'm trying to say this in the most not offensive way possible, but They Live is like the last Carpenter flick, it feels like.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
Like his period. And then, like, I mean, Memoirs of the Invisible Man was like his next movie, I believe. And that's good and fun, but it doesn't, like, if I watched that, I would not know that was a John Carpenter movie. The same thing with In the Mouth of Madness. Aside from the titles popping up and part of the soundtrack, I would not know that was a John Carpenter movie.
Well, and I think it's also part of the genre just changing. Like, you can say, okay, well, Ghost of Mars is fun, but if that movie came out in the 80s, it would just be, oh, no, that movie was awesome.
Yeah.
But surrounded by everything else that was coming out then, and just the way that the genre's changing, it's like these guys are just like, hey, we're really good at making this type of movie, and there was a time when those movies were really successful, and then the genre changed, and they didn't really. And now they're just a bunch of fucking old assholes.
No, but I agree with you, like, because I often wonder that myself when I watch, you know, something corny or something cheesy, and it kind of gets shit on. But I'm thinking to myself, man, if this came out in the 80s, would people be saying this shit right now? Like, would they still be saying, oh, this is crap or this is garbage? Because I watch a lot of films in the 80s, and like, I mean, we brought up Dustball last time. If Dustball came out in theaters right now, would it be successful? Probably not. It probably wouldn't even go to theaters, and people would probably say, oh, whatever. You know, and I agree with Wolfman is that, you know, like Ghost of Mars, I flat out would guarantee if that thing came out in the 80s, that would be one film that we're talking about right now and how awesome it is. And I think a lot of the films, if like They Live came out today, it probably wouldn't be that successful because it's goofy, but it's cool. Like it's like there was a time frame where we cut off corniness and cheesiness where we're like, we're not going to allow it anymore because of what the other movies that were coming out, like Wolfman said, is like competing in that time period. Like when is Ghost of Mars, like 2001? I mean, the films that were coming out in, you know, early 2000s were major blockbusters and, you know, kind of getting away from that 90s feel of movies, which people consider the worst decade. But, you know, I agree. I'm just going to say if Ghost of Mars fucking came out in 1980, you guys would be shitting all over it. Well, in a good way.
Oh, yeah, that good way of shitting all over something.
All right. Well, gentlemen, this week we're talking about John Carpenter's Prince of Darkness.
Anyone in close proximity has the same dream.
What is it?
A secret that can no longer be kept. It started a month ago.
What started?
A change in the earth and the sky. His power.
There's a weird locking mechanism. Looks like it can only be opened from the inside.
A life form is growing out of prebiotic fluid. It's not winding down into disorder. It's self-organizing. It's becoming something. What?
So, Prince of Darkness, John Carpenter's 1987 flick. Alice Cooper played a huge part in the marketing of the film, but was in it for about 5 seconds.
Yeah, I think this is another case, John, too, where the studio didn't know what to do with, you know, a Carpenter movie, which happened to him a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like trying to sell the movie via Alice Cooper is a little misguided. But yeah, I feel like they were a little desperate. They didn't know what to do.
Yeah. It stars Donald Pleasance, Lisa Blount, Jameson Parker, and a handful of other people.
Peter
Victor
Jason.
Wong, Peter Jason.
Dennis Dunn.
I'll let you guys fill in the blanks.
Alice Cooper. Did you guys talk about him yet?
Nope.
Oh, Alice Cooper's in it.
Thank you.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
So, basically, the plot is, people find a glowing green cylinder in a church, and all, craziness ensues. Involving possibly Satan.
Wow, that is the worst
is that how it goes?
I have ever heard.
I think I watched a different movie. I watched a movie that had Amber Heard in it, and she was just some weird spooky stuff was going on. No, but I think this film is kind of like the opposite of what we were talking about before, where directors make a movie that fits a time period. This movie, I think the reason it is so appreciated is in the 80s, people just weren't ready for something this weird. And now 10, 20, 30, I don't know how long ago that was, because I don't know math. I feel like now people are starting to appreciate this more kind of like Lovecraftian combination of science fiction and horror. So I think that's why it's getting this bigger resurgence where it's now people really are ready for it.
Yeah, and also this is one Carpenter film that stands out from his entire catalog, mainly because I feel that this film its creepiness so soon and for so long in the very beginning. Like the credit sequence and the music doesn't let up until like 10 minutes into the movie. Like it just continues. That soundtrack is so like haunting from the very beginning until like when they're introducing all the characters and telling them, hey, we're going to be doing this project. Let's go. It's setting up for something so epic, and it is. You know, on such a small scale, because I mean, these few guys in this church basically save the world in a way, and I think it's pretty cool and unlike anything that Carpenter's ever done before.
Yeah, it definitely is a kind of a slow build, movie.
I like to think of it as like I compare it to Ghostbusters, and don't take that the wrong way, because I mean one specific scene in Ghostbusters actually. The scene where Ernie Hudson and Dan Aykroyd are in the car driving back from some mission they were on, and they start talking about the end of the world. I feel like that scene filtered through the mind of John Carpenter kind of reflects a little bit of this movie. It's like this world is ending kind of philosophical place that he goes to that's really interesting. And for some reason I thought of Ghostbusters. I mean, it's kind of like there's a whole lot of movies I compare it to, but like it's like Carpenter taking art house, in that it's so talky, like something like My Dinner with Andre meets Invasion of the Body Snatchers meets The Exorcist. I mean, it's this crazy combination of stuff that's really neat.
With bugs.
Well, and I think one of the features on there or whatever, or like going into the background of why Carpenter made this, he just says, oh, I was reading a bunch of stuff about metaphysics and like quantum physics, and so I made this movie. So it was just what he was interested in at the time was to make this super weird movie, and it was like, oh yeah, no, I didn't have any like grand ideas about Satan and science combining. It was I just read this book and I thought, hey, sure, why not do this?
yeah, and he even in the commentary, I was listening to the commentary last night again, and he was saying how he didn't even mean it to be Satan. He was talking about it being anti-God, like this anti-God
just some being.
Exactly. So he's totally getting, metaphysical with his religion, which is really interesting.
Because they don't mention like Satan or Beelzebub or anything.
Never
in the film. It's just kind of I guess.
I mean, it's just one of those things where I mean, a demon's a demon, whether it was Satan or whatever. It I think. In all, I mean, if anybody is, kind of into that thing or, has a brain, we can put two and two together. That, I mean, it's definitely a dark force. It might not be Satan, but that hand at the end of that movie, that's something. It's something that's not human, Sean.
Well, I think Tim Curry from Legend was making his cameo there.
It's Tim Curry from Congo. looking for Solomon's diamonds. But I mean, I know Brad is like a really big old dickhead and was making fun of you trying to summarize the movie. But to try and like explain what this movie is about it's nonsense.
It is.
Just, like trying to recall the plot, really, for the most part. It's just like a bunch of gobbledygook. And so I think that's what is so good about it. It's like the closest John Carpenter has got to making like a Fulci movie where it's just at any point you could just descend into this like hellscape and these characters are just kind of dealing with that.
Right. Yeah, it's one of those where anything could happen. I mean,
Alice Cooper could show up.
He could for 5 seconds.
Play like Feed My Frankenstein. You're like, whoa, what are you doing?
Oh man, that would have been amazing if they would have jumped into just a Alice Cooper musical interlude right in the middle of the film,
I mean, granted, it's not Alice Cooper's best movie because that would be Wayne's World, but
right.
They're pretty much the same movie. By the way, is this a prequel to Wayne's World?
I think so.
It could be.
Clearly.
Yeah.
It probably has to be. Another fun musical fact is when I was the drummer for Prince, I was like, "Hey, Prince, I know you're Prince. You should call yourself Prince of Darkness." And he's like, "No, I'm just gonna go with Prince." I was like, "All right, cool, see ya."
When he changed his name to Symbol, did you consider coming back?
Yeah, I was like, "You should call yourself Symbol of Darkness." And he's like, "No, I'm just gonna stick with the symbol." I was like, "All right, man, see ya. Bye. I go."
Yeah.
How about that guy's mustache, huh?
Yeah, I actually have a note.
Parker?
Fantastic stash.
Not Prince's mustache, mind you.
That's pretty awesome.
The mustache in Prince of Darkness.
And talking about weird stuff in that movie, the morning after love scene is so awkward.
Yes.
They immediately jump to this guy's just being a sexist dickhead saying that she's too hot to work in the quantum physics wing or whatever. They have an entire wing for quantum physics. And the next day he's just like, "Hey, I just want to tell you." She's like, "Hey, don't. Tell me some other time or never." And then they just kiss. It's like, what just happened?
Well, I look at that too, and I mean, I've been married 10 years this year, and he has the coffee, right? And all I can think about is dude, he's kissing her with fantastically horrible coffee breath right now. That just tastes awful.
But he makes coffee look so good when he walks outside and nothing but his jeans and his cup of coffee, and he's just staring off in the sunset.
Mm-hmm. That's what I do every single morning.
Jeans.
It's a bunch of caca.
Every morning I go out shirtless and stare out at my neighbor's house in my backyard.
Hey, you got to get a stash though.
Well, you were talking about the marketing of it, and yeah, what? I don't have his mustache. You guys were talking about the marketing of it, and marketing Alice Cooper. As I was watching the special effects guy who got to deliver the caca line in the movie, how heavily he was featured, and him saying, "I have a message, blah, blah, blah," whatever that line was. And he's some nobody also. So the fact that some of the marketing just had this, random ding dong that no one was going to recognize, but he did the special effects for the movie and got lucky with the one of the better lines of the movie.
Yeah. He was made more of an impact than Alice Cooper.
Oh, for sure.
Which is crazy.
I think one of the things that I like so much about it is it's this small story, because it is only half a dozen, 10 characters, and they're all just trapped. And I just kind of wonder, how far does this lunacy spread? Is the building next door also seeing all these crazy homeless people? Is it going so far as the entire city has kind of devolved into this? Or just kind of thinking about what else could be going on is something that's really appealing.
I think it's still going on about 20 minutes from my house in this little city called Hemet. Drove by a park the other day, and there was it reminded me of Prince of Darkness. There was 20 homeless people gathered around a tree. Ooh. And it was very eerie.
Oh boy.
Yeah. We kept on driving.
Like Wolfman said, it's fun because it is very isolated, and we don't have an outside view of anything other than just the homeless people or, a couple people trying to get out. And I think that's what's very effective about this movie is that, it feels like you're in there with them and you're experiencing the same exact things, because we're not jumping outside a news broadcast or something where they're seeing the homeless people gather around the church, or some kind of weird light shooting up from the sky from the church or anything like that. We're constantly in there with them. Yeah. And I think that's extremely effective.
I agree. I kind of am sick of, and it's not like it's a new thing, but just this idea of like, oh, we have to globalize this phenomenon. We have to show people in other countries and everything. I'm not that I don't care, but that doesn't help me connect to the story. And I think Carpenter is best when he's claustrophobic, when he's in a space like this. Like the Thing is clearly, this is like somewhere between The Thing and The Fog as far as like atmosphere, which this film has in spades, and claustrophobic sort of location and a group of people together. He does really well with ensemble casts, and which I think is something that I don't know if it's like totally missing. It's not totally missing now, but I feel like that is something as far as a movie's construction that directors don't think about enough. Like if you hang your movie on one or two actors, it makes it very difficult if those actors have to ever not be in a scene for an audience to stay connected in the same way. Whereas if you have like a bunch of interesting characters and good actors, which is he's great at assembling, then you can just continue to carry the movie, especially a talkie movie like this in one location. I mean, you gotta have a good group. So
yeah. Well, I mean, you definitely get to know the characters, through stuff like this. And I think if you globalize too much, it's just definitely it's way too thin, and you don't give a shit about any of these characters. So if it's more claustrophobic, you're kind of forced, to kind of get to know these characters, whether you want to or not, Yeah,
and with what Brian said, like Carpenter knows how to handle his cast, and he usually has, quite the number, and also very the characteristics of everybody. Everybody's different. The chemistry between everybody is just perfect, and it's one of those things where I relate a little bit more, to his films and like them more because it's like you feel like you want to be there and you want to be part of this group and you want to be friends with these guys because the chemistry works so well between the actors. Even though it's fucking end of the world is happening, I still want to kind of be hanging out with Brian Marsh's mustache.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, totally. I think Tarantino used to, and probably still does, always talk about hangout movies. Like he said, Rio Bravo, which is obviously a huge influence on Carpenter, and like Dazed and Confused. These movies where you just want to just hang out with the characters. I think Howard Hawks was really one of the pioneers of that genre, if you will, and Carpenter loves him to death, and you can kind of see him, bringing elements of that into a lot of his movies, especially The Thing and this one, because Hawks almost always had like a team of people, and yeah, it really does make you want to hang out with them, just sort of whatever the story is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very similar to like Peck and Paul's like Wild Bunch. Even though those guys are fucking crazy, man, I want to be part of that group so bad.
Totally.
I don't know. These guys were hanging out at church, and I was like, I don't really want to go to church. I'll meet up with you guys later. We can come hang out when you leave church. But, Donald Pleasance, I don't know if you and I are going to see eye to eye.
Did you guys think Donald Pleasance had enough to do in the film? Because I feel like he was kind of underused. But maybe I'm spoiled by...
I think whatever he does, he's extremely effective, whether it's a minute or, the entire film.
Yeah, I think he's great, and I love that he and Carpenter had that run of collaborations from Halloween to Escape from New York and this. He's a great actor. I mean, not to say everybody else in the movie isn't great, but like he's kind of almost a level above everybody else in the movie just as an actor. Yeah. Not like he flaunts it, but I mean, I just think he's able to bring something that you can't quite put your finger on. I always love that story that Carpenter tells about the end of Halloween when I think he was asking, Pleasance was asking him, like, how do you want me to play this, when he goes to see if after Michael's fallen out of the window on the ground and, then he's gone. He's like, I can play it one of two ways. He's like, I can play it like, oh, he's gone, and that's totally shocking or whatever, or I can play it like, oh, I knew that was going to happen, you know, and I guess they went with the second one. And I just was like, well, that's a really interesting choice. That sounds like something a real actor would think about, you know, as far as variety of how to play something. And I feel like he brings that kind of thought process to every role that he does, especially the Carpenter stuff. There's just a lot going on in his head, and he just brings this weight, you know, even in scenes where, in a movie where he isn't given a lot to do, Sean, like you said, he's got a presence, which is great.
That was my problem. I wanted to see more of him. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So for me to think that he's underused is like, man, I want to see more Donald Pleasence.
And Absolutely. One thing that Carpenter is really good at, and of course this goes for all the actors as well, because they're a bigger part of this than Carpenter is. Carpenter uses the same people a lot, but I'd never ever relate those movies like Donald Pleasence as, you know, Dr. Loomis in Halloween, or, you know, the president in Escape from L. It never like occurs to me until after I watched the movie. And I hate that when certain actors use this, or certain directors use the same actors, because halfway through the movie, I'm like, oh, you kind of already did this in this or whatever. I never relate any of those previous films that those actors have done with the one that I'm watching. And I've always really, really dug that. They're great character actors, and I wish that more people would do that. But
I agree. I love the idea of a stock, the idea of a stock company. And I mean, there's definitely a lot of directors that do it, but I just think that is part of, I mean, it's part of your sort of flavor as a director, if you will, like what you bring to a movie. If you bring a certain kind of style, set design, editing, whatever, the cast is so big, and if you have this group that you keep coming back to, it's just such a pleasant feeling. And I don't know, if you do it right, you don't associate, like you said, Brad, with other movies. You just kind of go, oh, it's these people, and I like these people. I don't know.
Yeah, it's well, fun. Go ahead, Wolfman.
Oh, I just wanted to chime in with some really helpful information.
Go right ahead.
Well, when you guys say you wanted to see like more Donald Pleasence, I wanted to like physically see more of him. Like I wanted to see him like take his collar off and start open up his priest outfit. So that's my really helpful, really educational, like really informative contribution to seeing more Donald Pleasence.
Well, we appreciate that.
But you say that like obviously he has this this group of actors that he regularly works with, yet you never feel like you're seeing the same character more than once. For me, I think it's like with this movie, you know, and you already touched upon the opening credit sequence. It's his credits what really seem to bridge connections between all of his movies. And I like to think that Prince of Darkness takes place in the same universe as They Live, as The Thing, all those credit sequences that just have the white text on that black background. So that's another reason why I love this movie, is just because it feels like, yeah, this could have been going on anywhere in this crazy universe of his.
Yeah, no, I like that idea. I like that idea that, you know, the church in They Live is maybe like a couple miles away from the church in Prince of Darkness. And meanwhile, up in it, you know, or down in Antarctica or whatever, you know, it just feels like of the same universe. Yeah, I like that a lot.
One actor that I liked to see in this one was Victor Wong.
Yeah,
he's been in
Professor Howard or something.
What's that?
He was a professor.
Yeah,
right. Yeah. Victor
yeah,
Wong.
I like that actor a lot. I mean, he's been in Last Emperor, Golden Child, Tremors,
Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah, of course, Big Trouble in Little China.
Three Ninjas.
Okay, now we're
I'm just saying. You can say what the fuck you want, but he's in Three Ninjas. Whatever.
Yeah, well, but I like that guy. I've always liked seeing when he pops up in movies.
Absolutely, he's great, and seeing him and Dennis Dunn, who I sort of unfortunately exclusively associate with Carpenter, because not enough people used him, which is a bummer. Because I love Dennis Dunn. Those two together makes it like kind of this minor Big Trouble in Little China reunion. I mean, I think we all know that Tarantino is a big Trouble in Little China fan, and goddamn, I wish he would put Dennis Dunn in something. That would make the most sense. You know, if I was a filmmaker making movies, I'd totally cast Dennis Dunn. But Tarantino is the guy to do it. It would just really work in his universe. I think he'd be great. So I hope that happens at some point. But I love to see these movies.
One thing I was gonna what Brian?
I said go for it, dude.
What, Brian?
One thing that I really dug about this and in films like this is that whenever you have such a small cast, like we've been saying, and they've been isolated, and they actually save the world, and it's like they walk out like the next day, and it's like, hey, well, I just saved the world, and no one knows about it. Like, it's just amongst that group of people, you know, and few films have done that to where it's like not televised, it's not publicized, there's no radio stuff about it. Like, you know, the police aren't involved. It's just a small group of just individuals that save the world, and then they go about their normal life the day after. I know that's a little bit different with Prince of Darkness because some bad shit happens, but there are films like that. And it's the same thing like, you know, Big Trouble in Little China. I mean, shit goes down and then they just walk away from it like the next day, like nothing happened. I don't know. There's just a sense of, like childhood fantasy with that type of thing where you save the world and only you know about it.
Well, guys, let's go ahead and talk about the Blu-ray release that Scream Factory has given us.
Wait, they gave it to you?
Actually, that I bought.
Okay, I was gonna say I bought it with my own goddamn money, like a stupid piece of shit. And you guys getting free goddamn DVDs?
Well, some people get free shit. They will rename nameless, but I'm jealous of them every day.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Nor me.
All right. Well, shoot. I should have grabbed the actual box and had it with me, but
you should have, Sean, but you fucked up.
I've got the back of the box right here.
Are you gonna bring it over to Sean's house?
Yeah, I'm gonna bring it over.
Come on over.
Give me about an hour. It's got an audio commentary with Carpenter and actor Peter Jason. And that's
a question.
No, not a question. Statement. And that's a pretty good commentary. I mean, it's not quite as good as a Kurt Russell Carpenter commentary, but those two guys are having a good time talking about the movie. So I dug that, definitely. And then there's new interviews with Carpenter and Alice Cooper. And I feel like there's something else that's not listed on the back here, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's been a while since I watched the special features on that. But I remember I did listen to the commentary with Carpenter because he's just when he speaks, you kind of zone out with what he's saying. But the Carpenter, I wish that Kurt Russell will be on every Carpenter commentary, even if he isn't in the movie.
Yeah.
Because those guys just, they're a fucking riot. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, saying like this commentary is not as good as a Kurt Russell commentary, it's like, well, this commentary is also not as good as like a picture of Kurt Russell. So, like, there's a really high bar for like writing the name Kurt Russell down on a piece of paper is better. But I knew what you were getting at.
Yeah, you're right. I did set the bar kind of high, but
Brian, did you mention the interview with Robert Grasmere?
No, I did not.
Okay, so there's that's on there, and then there's a look at the film score with Alan Hogwarts.
Alan Hogwarts.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's it. There's also like a 12-minute feature Q&A from their 25th anniversary screening.
Yeah, that was cool. Brian Collins was on that. Just looking at him, that was fun.
Mm-hmm.
He was nervous as hell, but it was pretty awesome.
And there was that on location thing.
Oh, the Hallowed Grounds?
Yeah, where they go and check out that was pretty neat. I'd actually never seen that before, so.
Yeah, that's on a few of the Blu-rays. That's pretty cool. The horrors.
Yeah, I mean, not that like Prince of Darkness is necessarily, because it's mostly, hey, look at this exterior, look at this exterior. Oh, by the way, every unique set was just built and constructed, so we're not going to go there. But just pretend that this bathroom that I'm in was where the green spinning tube was.
The big-ass bathroom.
Yeah, big, like for big-ass asses.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
So the video quality on this one's pretty good. It's
pretty good.
It's pretty great, actually. I'm trying to see is, did they strike a new master for this one? But it looks fantastic.
Well, I mean, even the fucking DVD that came out was fucking amazing back in the day. Yeah, so I don't know how much work, like extra work, they had to put into something that, I mean, it already looked really good. But I think what beefs this up is, of course, the quality is a little bit better, but the sound was really, really well done.
Yeah.
They have not dropped the ball on the Carpenter releases visually. They all look pretty great. This one, yeah.
Well, visually, Brian, do you have something to say about the audio?
Audio, I think it was good. Yeah, I think I liked it quite a bit. But I'll take your word for it that it is indeed awesome.
Yeah, they put both versions on here, the 5.1 surround and then the 2.0. So, okay. I don't know. I watched this wearing headphones, so I guess I heard the 2.0 version. It sounded fine with me.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying that, like I said, the Carpenter score like drags on, which is not a complaint, for the first 15 minutes of the movie. But it sounds fucking amazing. It's really, really good. So, I mean, yeah, you can definitely hear the 5.1 audio files out there.
Well,
so there's no complaints.
I'm not sure if I mentioned this before, and as far as like Scream Factory and them releasing the video transfers, because there's movies that I want to talk about that have had kind of shoddier video transfers that we haven't talked about yet. But I feel like it's just whatever, they kind of are left to dealt with on some of these movies, where Carpenter films, he's a respected director, so it seems like most of his movies have been kept in pristine condition, you know what I mean? But when it comes to some of these other movies, that they're just sitting in a vault somewhere, at some studio, and the studios really don't give a shit. And so they just kind of will throw it over to Scream Factory. Oh, you want to license this movie? Yeah, here you go. This is the condition it's in, and we're not going to do anything for you,
Yeah, that would be a good question for some of the guys at Scream Factory, is that do they know what they're going to get before they actually do sign it over or license it out?
I feel like they don't, because
they get to examine it. Because, I mean, that's the same thing. It's like, you're right, Sean, like Hellhole has been postponed because they realized it was like a shitty, some damaged, master shit. So would that deter them from releasing something? Because for me, personally, if you have something like Hellhole, for example, do it the best you can. Put a disclaimer on there saying that it's kind of fucked up, because it's the only way to keep the film alive. Because if no one fucking touches it because it's fucking damaged, we're never ever gonna see it again unless there's some fucking pirated, VHS rip on the internets. So
maybe someone can ask Scream Factory that question, and I assume they're getting free shit from them. Just in theory, if there's anyone who gets free stuff from them.
I'm done.
Well, I think we have something in the works with someone from there, so we'll see. We'll definitely have like more of a technical, I think, conversation in the near future. Hopefully, if that works out. So
yeah.
So fingers crossed, because there's quite, and I think if people heard kind of answers to this stuff, they'll be a little, not as bitchy and whiny. A lot of
they're not coming out and saying it. And I would hope that they, in hopes that they would, kind of, instead of like, I don't know, it's not they avoid the questions, it's just that they don't really come out and say exactly what happened, or, hey, this is what we received. Because I know Ravenous is getting a lot of shit at the moment. And,
Nosferatu did a little bit.
Yeah, just
but not
for
as
them
much
to
as
come.
Ravenous.
Yeah, I know. Because the thing is, they said Herzog approved, the transfer for Nosferatu. Of course, the director for Ravenous has passed.
Right.
But, at least come out and say, hey, and I think that would get a lot of heat off of them, because people are just nerds and fucking assholes on forums. Just take it and run with it. Scream Factory's super unreliable with their, it's everywhere with them. Well, because probably they get what they, what they receive.
They're given a shoebox, Like here's
with a fucking copy of a movie in it.
Yeah, where'd that copy of Ravenous go? That's in a shoebox underneath that abandoned desk that's been abandoned for 10 years. Oh, okay, let me go grab it. All right. Here you go, Scream Factory. We'll see. I mean, I haven't watched it yet, so I can't really speak to the transfer.
I haven't got it yet.
People that have seen it say that, you know what, it's better than the DVD, so everyone stop your bitching, so.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I would ask for. Anything better than the DVD.
And the DVD's shit, so I'll take, it could be just one step above that DVD. It could be the DVD quality, just anamorphic. And I'd be happy, so.
I mean, you gotta imagine what Fox is like, too. I mean, Fox is a, dependable company. They're good, but, I mean, what the fuck do you think they're really gonna dig down deep for the original, or are they just gonna fucking hand them the high-def copy that they did for, television or whatever?
Yeah. Yep. Alright, so,
Enough bitching.
Jesus, we're a bunch of cranky assholes. I'm just kidding. So I highly recommend this one. I mean, I really dig this movie. This is one of my favorite Carpenter movies, and I'm glad that it got such good treatment,
Yep.
So, what did you guys think? 'Cause I was kind of in big on how they did on the cover art, the new cover art that they did. Did you guys like the new artwork they did?
Yeah, it was.
I do.
It was good. I'd flip it.
Yeah.
Anyway, I always flip them.
I flip it, but I think this is one of the better ones. I think I liked Night of the Comet as well, and then the Pumpkinhead artwork they released just
the Pumpkinhead's pretty sweet.
Gave me a huge nerd boner. So.
Oh my god, that's disgusting.
I know. Nerds with boners are disgusting.
This kind of reminded me of because there's like that standard thing where they're like taking like three characters from the movie and putting them on like they did with Night of the Demons, like Prince of Darkness, Halloween 3. They have that kind of thing going. I kind of like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like though with Prince of Darkness, there aren't as many like iconic images from the movie. Like obviously the church stands out, but even just trying to think of like what they would put on the cover before I saw that formula, I just had no ideas. But I think it looked pretty good. The
funny thing about Prince of Darkness is the one iconic image that always stays with me is just Alice Cooper, and that's like the one thing that he was barely in the movie. That's the one thing that sticks in my brain after seeing it.
I always thought it's like almost looks like it was shot on video of the dream sequence of them like passing through the fence and showing the front doors of the church.
Yeah.
And that weird audio's playing. That when I saw that when I was younger, that kind of scared me just a tiny bit. It was it's very unsettling. Yeah. So that's the one thing I remember. Also the green vat of jelly.
Well, you mentioned Alice Cooper. I don't know. Did you guys get the supplementary discs? I don't even actually know if this was like a limited edition thing that they did with this release, but it was all these separate DVDs called Hanging with Mr. Cooper, and it was really weird.
Every fucking time too. It's like, oh man, Wolfman's gonna say something, and then it's just a fucking bullshit.
I'd just like to plug my friend's show, Hanging with Mr. Cooper, available on DVD today.
Available on DVD? Hanging with Mr. Cooper?
Oh, I have bootlegs, so just get in touch with me if you want some bootleg Hanging with Mr. Cooper DVDs. Also, Hang Time I have on bootleg DVDs. Lots of basketball-themed, family-friendly television.
Looks like Hanging with Mr. Cooper is not available on DVD.
Oh, damn it.
Wow, way to really bring the mood down.
Jesus, Brad.
No, all right. I'm plugging you, man. You can get them from Wolfman for, a limited price or whatever for $10.
Coming soon at a street corner near you. Well, hey guys, let's go ahead and jump into our top 5 Carpenter films.
Now, Sid, don't you blame the movies. Movies don't create psychos. Movies make psychos more creative.
Who wants to go first? I didn't really plan who.
Let Wolfman do it since he get his bullshit out of the way.
Got it. Jesus. Got it.
Jesus.
Okay. Number 1, Evan Almighty. 2, Passion of the Christ. 3, Noah. That's it. Those are the best 3 movies about people building stuff.
What?
Wait, did I do the list wrong?
Yeah, they were. It's the John Carpenter.
Oh, John Carpenter.
Yeah.
John Carpenter. Whoops. Oh, okay.
Do you have a backup list?
Yeah. Oh, we're good. I would actually put. Okay, so I mean, out of order. I don't. I'm not going to rank them number 1 to number 5s, but just in no order, I would definitely put Prince of Darkness in top 5. Also going to put Halloween in there, and The Thing, not the Mary Elizabeth Winstead version guy. We know you didn't do that one. And then I would put They Live and Big Trouble in Little China.
Boom.
Top 5. Boom.
We're gonna have a lot of crossover on this list. I have a feeling.
Yeah. That's why we also had to do 5, because it would have been insane. Yeah. I would have done 10. I would have done 20.
I don't think there's anything controversial on this one.
But basically, since I went first, anyone who says anything after me is just copying me. So
exactly. Yep.
Have fun.
Yeah, mine's actually a little controversial.
All right. Well, let's.
Because something's not on the list that probably should be. But yeah.
I think we should save. Should we save the controversy for last?
Yeah. Go ahead.
All right. I'll go ahead and get mine out of the way, since mine are always just
go before Brian.
Mine are always boring mainstream choices.
Brian even here?
I'm here.
Oh, okay.
Well, these are in no particular order. I got a couple honorable mentions I had to throw in there because I felt weird not even mentioning him. That Christine.
You can't do honorable mentions.
I'm doing it. Christine and The Fog are my honorable mentions. I just did it. So there.
You're worse than me.
But my top 5 ones that I would put in the top 5 in no particular order, because it's hard to rate. I don't know. It's kind of it's easy to rate. Like, you can do a list of his best movies and have them all in one list, and they can do a list of his worst movies and have them all in one list, and you get to
He
go.
Doesn't have a list of worst movies.
You can't. Well, yeah, because they're all in one. They're all just jumbled together. It's not a ranking. All right. Anyway, Escape from New York is one of my favorite Carpenter flicks, mainly because of Kurt Russell and his eye patch. And the gigantic phones that they have in that movie, which are awesome. Prince of Darkness, of course, is on my top 5 list. It's always been, since I first saw it, it's always been one of my favorite Carpenter movies. They Live is so kind of batshit crazy, but it has like this weird, socioeconomical message. That is just fantastic how he blends the two genre with an actual, commentary, social commentary. Halloween, of course, that's iconic. I mean, there's no questioning that. And then, this would actually be, I would say that everything else is in the top 5, but this one probably is my favorite Carpenter flick of all time. It always has since I first saw it when I was like, I think I was like 6 or 7 when I first saw The Thing. And that movie, just because of its practical effects, has always stuck with me. And pretty much every practical effects movie I see, I hold, compare it to The Thing. And if it's not as good as The Thing, I always have issues, because that movie, as far as those effects go, still holds up, and they're just fantastic and gooey and creepy. And I'm really hoping the movie Harbinger Down that's being worked on right now, it's kind of a Kickstarter flick. I really hope that they bring it with the practical effects, because
looks like they do with that trailer.
Yeah, the trailer looks fucking amazing, but I'll be definitely comparing them to The Thing. So that's my list.
That's nice. That's something nice. So that's no weight on their shoulders.
No, not at all. Not at all.
It's good to say, I hope this is as good as one of the best practical effects movies of all time. Let's just wait.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, Sean, you're probably going to hate it, because I don't think anything's going to live up to The Thing, dude.
Probably. All right, Brian, what do you got?
Okay. Honorable mentions for me are They Live in Prince of Darkness. Just to piss Brad off. Number 5 is Assault on Precinct 13. I was always a fan, but then I just rewatched when the Scream Factory Shout Blu-ray came out. I rewatched it with my son, and man, that's some good shit. That movie's solid. Number 4 is The Fog, which is another one that's sort of come around. Like, first couple times I saw it, I was like, oh, it's okay. And then I just started to really appreciate it in the past, 5-6 years. And then the new Blu-ray is just so ridiculously amazing that it's hard not to like it a little bit more, even if you were marginal on it. But I fucking love The Fog. Number 3 is Halloween. Number 2, Big Trouble in Little China. And number 1, of course, The Thing, which may be my favorite movie ever. I think it's an absolutely perfect film.
Ever.
Like I can agree with that. Yeah.
I don't like to try and pick a favorite ever, but like when I think about it, there's just no movie that I think is more perfect for me personally. So. But
damn it, Brian, there are no women in that movie, so.
There are no women. Yes. It's
what an anti-feminist movie.
I don't know what that says about me, but it's just such a damn good.
I'm being facetious.
So, no. I think about it. But yeah. So that's my list. I want to hear Brad's controversy.
All right, Brad.
Can we place bets on what we think Brad is not going to put on there?
Yeah. What could
he's not going to put Halloween on there?
Nope,
wow,
he's not
John,
putting Halloween
really
on there.
That's really good, John.
Whoa.
He hates Halloween.
No, Halloween's one of my favorite slashers. It's just I didn't want to waste a slot with.
Oh shit, was that right?
Yeah, with that. I mean, nice. It would be. Let's just say it's my honorable mention.
Okay, cool. There you go.
I mean, it's still one of my favorite Carpenter flicks. But saying that, basically, it's like 20 of his films are my favorite Carpenter flicks. So, going in order from 5 down, 4, 3, 2, 1. People, you ready?
Ready.
Number 5 is vampires.
Whoa!
I'm a huge fan of vampires.
Nice.
Just one of those. James Woods is fucking awesome in that movie. I just like the idea, of course, behind it. I like the idea of slayers going around, emptying houses out, and looking for these motherfuckers and just pulling them out. Yeah, I mean, everybody's seen vampires, hopefully.
Yeah.
It's just they have a badass setup, and I don't know. I really dig it. That was something I wish that Carpenter would have done more. I know that the sequels have came out, but elaborated a little bit more with that story later on, because there's a lot of hints and little things that make that film seem a little bit bigger than it actually was, and I would love to one day see that. But anyways, number 4 is Prince of Darkness, which we already talked about, so I don't need to go into that. Number 3 is Christine. Still one of the best soundtracks on a horror film. Wonderful love story at the same time, I think. I think the relationship, because it's funny that something like that, Christine is actually a character in the movie.
Yeah.
It's a real character that has a personality. It just has all this shit, and it was a great adaptation from the Stephen King novel as well. I'm a big fan of the book, and really, really, really dig Christine.
That's another one of my kind of like special effects, like Pantheon films, because the way when they have the car, like, it's all crushed and how they have it come back, it's just, I've always wondered, like, how did they do that? It's just one of those.
Air compressor.
Well, yeah, something, but Jesus, but it looks so good that it's always stuck with me, because I saw that one pretty young too.
Yeah, so. They actually have one of the original cars. I think there was like 5, really of the like pristine Christines, and there's only a couple in existence, and one is actually in Florida, believe it or not.
Cool.
Then they put it at the horror conventions and things, and you can go up to it and shit. So,
and touch it.
Number 2 is The Thing. We've all had that on our list, right? So I really don't need to go into detail about that. My number 1 is always and will be Assault on Precinct 13.
Nice.
Cool.
Just, I like the camaraderie between, like, the bad guys and good guys. Because, of course, like, they have to trust, like, Napoleon and these other, inmates in order to survive the night. And, I've always kind of dug that when, good guys, bad guys have to come together to overcome a force of some type, or, people, whatever like that. And it's just the movie's kind of a mystery too, because you really don't know what Napoleon has done. There's like that speculation he's the ultimate badass, and he is. And also that kind of carried over for Escape from New York and L.A. I feel like Snake Plissken is kind of like a re-envisioning of Napoleon Wilson. Anybody else ever get that?
Now that you mention it, I totally agree with that.
Yeah, there's just like certain things that carry over. It's almost like when Carpenter wrote the character, and Assault on Precinct 13's done, like sitting there like, God damn, this is such a good character. And now it's done. What do I do? What do I do now? And it feels like the Escape from New York was a carryover from that character. It's very, just the shootouts, just everything about it. There's just certain things, even Bishop's stories that he tells, like throughout the film. It feels very, very real. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's a great Carpenter movie that I feel like a lot of people, as much as it's a cult favorite, a lot of people still haven't seen that one because it's not straight horror and they don't want to give it a shot. But I mean, there's a lot of things that I love about it. You're totally dead on with everything you said, Brad. Also, obviously, the music, it's one of his best themes.
It definitely is one of his best scores.
Yeah, and you can play the theme on guitar, which is awesome.
Yeah. Really dig that one.
But it's also got a big influence from Rio Bravo, which is my number 2 favorite movie of all time. So, like, there's a lot for me to love. Yeah, it's great.
It's that Western feel too.
Absolutely.
Like, it's his calling card from his Hawks, Howard Hawks love.
Yeah, with the dialogue and the way the characters interact, like you said, it's not overly quippy, but it's clever and
there's a lot more to it too. It feels like there's like you can tell the history between the characters. There's also that there's that relationship between Bishop and I forget the other character, not Nancy Loomis's character, because the other lady that's like the secretary.
Yeah.
There's like that relationship between Napoleon and her. Like they never really say too much to one another, but there's like that romance feel,
Yeah, but he doesn't know what to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's also just all these like little things, like when they do the when Napoleon and I'm forgetting the name, Wells like do the potato thing, and the guess who's going to go outside, and it's like we don't explain that. He just says, "Let's do potatoes," and then they do it, and like no one really knows what's happening, but they do. Like that's something obviously they do in prison, but there's no exposition on who wins, what goes on, unless somebody really knows what potatoes is. I don't.
Yeah, me neither.
But also another thing, and I'm done because I can go on forever about this one. Just the ending alone. I remember watching that. I was a little older. It was one of the Carpenter films I saw later in life, but the ending brings like tears to my eyes for a couple reasons. I know that sounds weird for this type of film, but number one, it's over, and I didn't want it to end. But it's just that part where as soon as everything's over, they go to arrest Napoleon, and Bishop like gets pissed off, and he tells him to get away, and he says it would be a privilege if you'd walk outside with me. And that line got me. Like, you saved my life tonight, so let me walk out with you side by side as just two civilians rather than, a police officer and a criminal. Like, it's that one last walk of freedom before Napoleon Wilson gets behind bars again. And, he might get a pardon, who knows, but we don't speculate that. He's going right back to prison and Bishop's going home. And it's a really emotional moment for me. But anyways, that's it.
Very cool. That was
Can we also talk about it's the 10-year anniversary of Napoleon Dynamite? So can we just do just real quick, like top 5 John Heater movies?
Is there 5?
1, Napoleon Dynamite. 2, also Napoleon Dynamite. 3, Blades of Glory. 4, he was a voice in Monster House. 5, Napoleon Dynamite again.
Thank you.
Boom.
Thank you.
That's a really, really good list.
Happy anniversary.
I've been working on it for 10 years.
All right.
It's funny, he's actually still around.
Yeah.
But he's like, I think that's all he does now is voiceovers for kids stuff. But
probably. Poor guy. Now I feel bad.
Yeah, he's got a ton of it. Oh, look at shit.
All right, guys.
I know he completely fell off the wagon there.
Yeah. Well, I believe with that we are out of time. Normally we give the time to the guests to let us know what projects they're working on or what's going on. So Wolfman, I'm going to extend you the invitation there. What do you have going on? Anything?
Wait, what do you mean? What do you mean? Normally, this is where we have someone who has done anything with their lives talk about things that they're doing. Well, I'm coming up with lists of my 5 favorite John Heater movies. That's the thing that I'm doing with my life. Let's see, what else am I doing?
You eat pizza?
Yeah, I've eaten some pizza here and there. That's a pretty cool thing. I know it's not. Yeah, I'm doing lots of cool stuff. So don't try and play it down like I'm not saying really cool stuff. I got some. Sometimes I post things on Twitter and there's a good amount of retweets. That's.
Tell them about your blog, maybe.
Yeah, but blog
real,
and that kick-ass T-shirt, man. That you're slinging.
Yep, you're right. I made a couple T-shirts, sold them. No big deal.
No big deal.
No big deal. I've got a website called The Wolfman Cometh, where sometimes I write things about stuff that I'm thinking about. So there's that.
Can you send Sean that story about the dog that you emailed?
Oh, if you check out thewolfmancometh.com and probably search for something like grande latte, because I don't think I've ever used the words grande latte in any other context other than in the story.
This is legit, people. This story is fucking insanely funny.
Well, you're right. But it's just just a little thing I wrote about when I emailed my professor's dog, and
it's legit too. It's not a joke.
My professor's dog is named Grande Latte. So
awesome. Well, I'll put a link in the show notes, and I'm really excited to read it. So,
and you can find me on Twitter at the Wolfman. That's right. Just straight up the Wolfman.
Awesome.
You're not gonna fucking pimp your thing that you're doing now that you told me about?
My thing that I'm doing? No, we already talked about that. Slang a couple T-shirts.
Where can people find the T-shirts?
There's a large left in each size, and they're currently in my bedroom.
A large in each size?
Fuck. I've been saying a large in each size every single time, and then I have to delete my tweet and then type it again. No, I have a large of each style of T-shirt. So if there are any larges out there looking for a T-shirt that kind of looks like a Ouija board, but instead says The Wolfman Cometh, or if you like black metal and don't like being able to read what a logo is, got a shirt like that, those can both be purchased on thewolfmancometh.bigcartel.com.
Cool.
I own one. They're very nice shirts.
I may have to grab one. I may have to grab those last larges off you.
I'll sell them to you for twice the price.
Damn it. All right. Well, guys, like I said, that's going to do it for this week's show. You can find us over on Twitter at Scream_cast. You can find me at Sean C. DeRager on Twitter. And you can find the website, thescreamcast.com. Gentlemen, Brad and Brian, where can people find you guys?
In your ass.
Jesus Christ. I knew those.
You can find me at Brad F. Henderson, whatever.
I'm at Bob Freelander on Twitter and Rupert Pupkin Speaks on Blogginess.
Brian's got some nice.
Read Brian's blog. It's pretty good.
Pretty good. Yeah, pretty good.
Pretty good.
I get a lot of help.
Well, it's great, and I'm trying to start writing again for PopSyndicate.com, but I haven't found I'm just trying to keep it going, trying to get the inspiration back. I don't know what's going on. We'll see what happens.
Wolfman should inspire you.
I know.
Oh yeah.
I want to thank all of you for listening. We've had a steady uptick in listeners in the past couple weeks, and I want to welcome all the new listeners and thank you guys for checking out the show and tweeting at us, and we definitely would love to hear your input. And you can email us if you have any, if there's any, or tweet at us. Who cares? Does anyone email anymore? Really?
No.
But let us know if there's a title we haven't covered yet, and it's something you really would like to hear us cover. Just drop us a line on Twitter or email or whatever. There's a contact button on the website. So with that, hopefully our next episode doesn't disappoint, because we've had some really strong past few episodes.
I think this is the one that will disappoint.
Oh, absolutely. All the momentum. He was like, oh, we got Felissa Rose, we got Pat Healy, and then we got this guy who says things on the internet sometimes.
Don't forget, Linnea Quigley was right before you, too.
Oh, fucking great, guys. Thanks a lot.
This episode's doomed.
Yeah, you have a lot to follow up on. It's
going to be like, oh, we just got a bunch of babes and a bunch of hunks, and now this fucking dildo.
Well, the Wolfman, thank you for spending the time talking to us. We definitely, sincerely, we've really appreciate it. So thanks for...
Yeah, I have no life, so...
Thanks for coming on.
This is really good.
All right. All right, everybody. We'll talk to all of you next week. Have a great week. Bye-bye.
See ya.
Smell you later.
Bye.
Oh, don't tell me you're leaving. The party's just begun.
Well, welcome. Are we just calling you Wolfman? Because I'm cool with that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
I don't want anyone to know anything about me.
Hell yes. I wish I would have made that choice, but I'm fucked. My name's all over Google.
Yeah, that's embarrassing.
My employers could Google me. Hey, you sound quiet, Brad.
I forgot last night.
There we go.
I prefer the other volume. Okay, I've ruined it.
Nope. Not at all.
No, that dead silence means that you fucked up.